6 Ways How to Get Him Back, Without Looking Desperate. If you're trying to get your ex back, you have to be very careful and smart while working on your plan. Because when your pride gets hurt and when you want someone back so badly, it's not unheard of to become a bit desperate, because you want it so much. You're not thinking clearly because you've been hurt and you definitely haven't gotten over him yet. You still love him. And when love is involved, none of us thinks straight. We are able to do all kinds of crazy things which we are not even aware of. But let's say that there is another way to get him back, without looking desperate and needy. If you go in the needy direction to make your plan come true, you're only going to make things worse. When he sees that crazy and needy side of you, he'll be glad that he broke up with you. And we don't want that. We want him to realize that he made the biggest mistake of his life, which he probably did, but anyway. How to get a guy back without looking desperate. 1. Don't disagree with him about the end of your relationship. Listen to what he's got to say about why he broke up with you and don't argue with him. It's so much better to accept the truth. Take some time to think things through and absorb what he said and accept it. You can talk to him again later. Show him that you are a mature adult and that you accept if you did something wrong. If you really did, apologize to him, and if you didn't, talk to him normally without screaming and arguing, but don't try to change his mind. If he sees how maturely you're handling the whole situation, he might just change his mind after all. 2. Don't beg him to come back. You are a woman who is worthy of the man who will treat her like she deserves. So don't ever beg him to get back with you. It will make you look needy and you will only confirm his decision is the right one. Men like women who feel good about themselves and show it. It is something that makes you hot. Confidence turns them on. So, if you want to lure him back in, show him that you are okay and happy about yourself, no matter what. 3. Admit that you are also responsible for your breakup. Never blame everything on him. Think about your relationship, and even though it resulted in him breaking up with you, take your part of the blame, too. Maybe something you did made him break up with you. Admit to yourself that you are not perfect and there is always more room to grow and find a way to be more mature. If you also take the blame, he'll see that you are reasonable, and maybe he'll give you another shot because you showed him that something has changed, unlike in the past. 4. No contact rule. While the wound is still fresh, you have to play by the no contact rule if you want a positive outcome later. Also, when you just break up, you are angry and there is the possibility that you might say something to him that you will regret later on, something that you didn't mean but anger made you say it. You mustn't call or text him for at least 4 weeks. Avoid hanging out with your mutual friends because you'll probably run into him, and don't pretend you don't know where he goes out and then accidentally run into him on the street. If you manage to avoid these things and give him some space, when you do text or call him, he may be glad to hear from you and he may realize that what he did was a mistake. 5. There is no room for jealousy. Maybe when you see him with someone new you think that there is no way you'll ever get him back. But that doesn't have to necessarily be true. Usually, a relationship that happens right after another relationship is a rebound, which is not serious. They serve just so you can forget and let loose. And while he's at it, he'll realize while being in another woman's arms how much he misses being around you. And if you act jealous, you will only drive him far away from you. 6. Let him contact you. You've typed the text and you've read it 100 times to make sure it's perfect and you still don't know if it's a good idea to send it to him or not. Well, don't send it because it's definitely a mistake. If you keep contacting him, you won't give him a chance to miss you. When you're feeling down or in a crisis about contacting him, call a friend and ask for help, or chat randomly about things just to keep your mind off of him. Let him wonder what you are doing and who you are hanging out with. Let him contact you first. And when he does, don't show that you were waiting for him to contact you. Be polite and a bit indifferent but not too much, until you see his conversation is heading in another direction, the one that suits you the best. Let him do all the work.